Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your very first gameplay and overview straight from the Alpha Strike dev server for the T-80UD. This is a currently rank 7 battle rating 10.0 premium tank for the Russian Ground Forces tech tree and is very interesting for many different reasons. So first and foremost, this is a 10.0 BR T-80, which is pretty damn crazy, and it has a different means of propulsion. So this uses a diesel engine, as you can see here, rather than the standard gas turbine engine that the T-80B, the T-80U use. This will be a bit slower than those. So unfortunately, this is likely to be the slowest of all the T-80s in War Thunder, but it still boasts over a 20-to-1 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, so there's that. It also has a 6.5 second reload despite being 10.0 BR, whereas the closest T-80 to that BR, the T-80B, features a 7.1 second reload, so this benefits from the T-80U. Now, if you didn't know by now, the T-80UD is essentially a derivative of the T-80U. It even features the same exact Contact 5 ERA that the T-80U has, and interestingly, probably the most interesting thing here, the T-80B, which is a higher BR than the T-80UD, only has Contact 1 ERA. So, we're gonna have to wait and see exactly if the T-80UD stays at this same BR. It seems like Gaijin is really banking on the fact that, unfortunately, this vehicle does not have thermals, and that it has, again, a weaker engine, but it still has the 3BM42, which is plenty powerful at this BR. Additionally, the composites are better than what you see on the T-80B, as you can see here. It's not as good as the T-80UD, and of course, it is going to be about the same as what you see on the T-80U. So this thing has a lot of features of the 11.3 BR T-80U, but also lacks some features that pretty much any other T-80 has. Again, this doesn't have options for night vision, and it is going to be fairly slow. So is this going to stay at 10.0 BR? Is this going to go up in BR? Who knows? But that said, let's get into a few matches, see what we could do. Again, being that this is the dev server, literally everything can change. And also bear in mind, every dev server match is full of bots. So we're probably going to see a few bots, but at least we get to see the mobility and the firepower on this thing. That said, let's get into it. So right off the bat, I can already tell this is a bit slower compared to the standard T-80s. But, I mean, it's not terrible by any means. Again, it still has over 20-to-1 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, but really isn't bad. You know, I mean, it's not great, but I've definitely seen much worse. And considering that you get Contact 5 ERA at 10.0 BR, it certainly could be a bit worse, right? Okay, there he is. We got the engine. And he screwed up. Sorry, my man. And there we have our first kill against a Leopard 2PL. Now, like I said, for the most part, when it comes down to... Ooh, we have an AMX-40 somewhere. But when it comes down to it, most of the battles that we'll be fighting are going to be against bots, unfortunately. As you can see, pretty much everyone on the enemy team is a bot. Oh, that's another thing. This has an absolutely terrible reverse speed of like 4 kilometers per hour. Okay, we have an enemy tank up here. Looks like the AMX-40. Hopefully I can hit him without really exposing my tank, but who knows? I should be able to actually defend against him pretty decently, however. I've got no doubts about that, but, okay, he is hidden behind that little tiny hill. Not too big of a dealio. He definitely knows I'm here. We're going to keep moving up, however. Take out that T-40 on the way. I only have a 6.5 second reload, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay. We did something. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Okay. This is weird. But hey, whatever, right? And I got myself a double kill. T-80UD, huh? Look at that. And actually, it deflected, it looks like, some damage from the front because of the Contact 5 ERA. Wow. I was genuinely not expecting that. I thought I was going to die really quickly, but yeah, I guess War Thunder had different plans for me. So, I mean, overall, thus far, I'm impressed by its armament. Now, again, a lot of bots. Now, I have not really been facing bots all too much, but there are a lot of bots typically when it comes down to this sort of gameplay. It's just kind of how it is, right? Dev server gameplay is just full of bots. And even the ones that you do fight, they're going to either be a much higher BR, like actual humans. They're going to either be a much higher BR than you or a much lower BR than you. And it appears as though we are in a situation where they are a much slightly higher BR than me. Like with a T80 and all that. Or the Leopard 2 PL, rather. But I do still have an actual enemy team trying to fight me here. So, let's keep on moving up. I really don't feel like having to deal with this. I actually have enemy players that want me dead now. Okay, that was not an actual player. And there we go. I got killed by a big Gleitpanzer. Let's see exactly where that hit me. And, of course, right underneath, right in the ammo carousel. So I said, let's get into another match real quick and see how this thing keeps playing. So let's go ahead and just compare this thing, like the overall mobility, to the Fuji or the M1A1HC. And I mean, can you tell much of a difference? Like, really? I mean, yeah, it seems like after a while, the HC and the Fuji, they're going a little bit faster than me, but not so much where I would constantly be thinking about it. And I think that's a big point to make with this vehicle, because again, dev server, I'm going to be saying it all the time, every time, permanently, henceforth, whatever. But you're taking a vehicle, right, the T80U, which is itself an 11.3 BR, switching out the, switching out the engine for a diesel engine, and, taking away essentially 250 horsepower. That's about 1/6 of its horsepower. And you're also removing thermals and its top-ranked 3BM 62, 52, something like that, right? And so you're basically giving it still 457 millimeters of armor pen, which is plenty decent at this BR, mind you. And it still has over a 20-to-1 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, and it's keeping its Contact 5 ERA, whereas the 10.0 BR, or 10.3 BR rather, variant, the T80B, only has Contact 1 ERA, and also, of course, you don't have thermals on this. So where does that leave us? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I like this vehicle. I genuinely do, and I'm not entirely sure if its deficiencies insofar as its engine are concerned, and kind of its top speed. It does only get a 60 km/h top speed compared to a 70 with other T80s. I'm not really sure if those are big enough to warrant this being 10.0 BR. Again, currently, as far as I remember, the lowest BR T80 in War Thunder. And that's saying something. Okay. We have ourselves a hit. And a kill. Very nice. Against the ZTZ-99-2, which is a competitor with this vehicle, I think. Not too bad. Overall, yeah, I'm kind of impressed by this thing. Like, genuinely. And again, consider, like, when you're looking at dev server gameplay, you're dealing with either people, like, actual players that are typically going to be a decent amount higher of a BR than you, even if you're at 10.0 BR, and this thing is still holding its own, or you're going to be facing bots, which are, World War II era, typically. And obviously, this thing's holding its own, so, I don't know. Early impressions, dev server impressions, which means something but not much of anything, I'm kind of impressed. Mobility on this thing is better than I expected. It's got good armor, that's for sure. Oh yeah, and also it's got the same composites of the later T80 variant, like the T80U, so bear that in mind. So overall, it's kind of impressive. It's kind of impressive. There we go. And a Crip. Didn't get the kill, however. There he is. Toasterinos. Can't complain all too much. But I'm expecting this match to pretty much be over real soon. Doesn't really matter all too much again. It's not so much about getting the kills. Like, you guys know what a 3BM42 can do, probably for the most part. You guys know whatever, right? But when it comes down to, like, the overall mobility, like, hey, how would removing 250 horsepower from a T80U impact it? Well, that's where this sort of gameplay actually makes, I feel, somewhat of a difference. And it's less of an impact than I ever expected. You'd think that 250 horsepower would probably slow this thing down by a lot, but it really doesn't. And as a result, it's a pretty impressive vehicle. I mean, like, yeah, it's slower, but, you know, how much? Not much. That's for sure. Oh, there we go. T80U, and you are probably dead. But whenever I say that, they always, like, live. Wow, that guy lived for quite a long time assaulting this team. But yeah, anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you don't mind, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. I greatly appreciate all of it. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below, about this vehicle in the comments below. I'm actually really interested to read your opinions, especially on this one, because, you know, it's 10.0 BR. We'll have to wait and see if it's actually worthwhile being at that BR. But either way, thanks again. I'm probably going to die here. See you all on the other side. Let's see where that went right through. Oh, won't tell me. Take care, everyone.